Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have a bit of different scenery. If you've been following my channel for a while, it might look a little familiar. I'm back in Playa Grande, Costa Rica, leading a week-long yoga retreat right now. So I was here last July as well, and I'm planning on coming back next July. So if you're interested in coming with, make sure you reach out to me via email. I will leave my email in the description below. Would love to have people from all over the world join us. It is absolutely gorgeous. We are in a nice air-conditioned room. It's a little bit humid outside, expecting some rain any minute now. So yeah, enjoy the view. Let's go ahead and we'll get started in a standing forward fold today. Come towards the top of your mat with your feet out nice and wide. Put a gentle bend into your knees. And by gentle, I mean whatever feels good for you. So maybe today that's a little bit more, maybe some days a little bit less. Just let your arms dangle, or you could grab your opposite elbows and sway a little bit side to side. Feel free to bend and straighten one leg at a time. And pause anywhere that doesn't feel quite right and just breathe into that space. And notice any thoughts lingering around, any judgments or expectations you have for your practice. Take a nice big breath in. And then imagine letting those go on your exhale. Feeling a little bit more space and ease in your body. Move your jaw around a little bit. Maybe shake your head no. And yes. And then if you've got a grip with your arms, switch it out. Feel free again to bend your knees more and start to kind of bob or sway back and forth a little bit. So kind of swinging your torso forward and back. Feel some space between your shoulders. And release whatever grip you got going on with your arms. Place your left hand under your nose, bend your left knee, reach your right arm up. Make a fist and roll out your wrist. Stay there, half wrap your right arm behind your back. Feel a little lean to the left as you peel your chest open to the right. Grip a little bit less with your toes. Take a big breath in. Big exhale. And keep the half wrap. Press into your feet, rise all the way up to stand. Reach your left arm up. Extend your left arm up and over to the right. So you've still got your half wrap. Extending that left arm up and over. Pushing your hips a little bit to the left. Now as you come back up, clasp your left hand onto your right hand. So you've got knuckles to the left side of your waist. Bring your left ear towards your left shoulder and feel a nice stretch on the right side of your neck. Slowly drop your chin towards your chest. Pull your knuckles behind you and lean back. Push your spine in towards your heart space. Lift your chin. And keep the bind if possible. Bend your knees and fold inwards. Great. Release your bind. Right hand under the nose. Bend your right knee and reach your left arm up. Make a fist. Roll out your wrist. And stay there, or half wrap your left arm. You want to actively push down into the right hand. So you're not just leaning into it. Active press. Think about expanding your collarbones. A little lean to the right. Keep your half wrap. Rise all the way up to stand. Reach your right arm up. And then lean over to the left. Kind of push your hips a bit to the right. Try to pull your bottom ribs down. Grip a little bit less with your toes. Inhale back up. Right hand clasp into your left hand. So you've got knuckles to the right side of your waist. Bring your right ear towards your right shoulder and feel a nice stretch on the left side of your neck. Slowly drop your chin towards your chest. Bring your hands behind you and start to lean back. Lift your chin, stretch your throat. Maybe take a lion's breath. Big inhale. Tongue out. Let it go. Keep your bind and fold inwards. Then release your hands. Turn your toes out and find a yogi squat. Move around a little bit if that feels good. Maybe that means interlacing your hands, rolling out your wrists, rocking your hips side to side, or rolling out your neck a bit. Or maybe all three of those. Gradually start to feel a little bit more space in your body, or maybe a little bit more space mentally. Where can you let go? Place your hands on the mat, lift your hips, walk your feet in the width of your hips, toes pointing forward. On your inhale, lift up halfway, pull your shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. You can grab onto your ankles. Again, inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. One more time, lift up. Place your hands on the mat and step back to a plank pose. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, look down between your thumbs. Next inhale, shift your weight forward as slow as you can, lower all the way down onto your belly. Take your time, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Once you're down, untuck your toes. On your inhale, cactus your arms and lift your upper body. You could keep open palms or make 2 fists. Press your pubic bone down, pull your chin in towards your throat. Now make 2 fists if you haven't already and lift your legs up. Crawl your ribs a little bit forward, gazing at the front of your mat. Feel some length through your waistline, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your feet lifted, but put your hands down and come up cobra pose. Rock around a little bit right and left. And we'll sink back to a child's pose. You can always take your knees wider or closer. Same thing with your feet. Draw a big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. This would be a good time to start your Ujjayi breath if you haven't. Active inhales and exhales through your nose with a gentle contraction in the back of your throat. Make your breath sound like an ocean wave. Let's shift forward to tabletop and then go right back to downward facing dog. Squeeze your legs. Feel free to keep a bend in your knees. Less focus on the legs being straight, more on your hips lifting. Active breathing. Let's go ahead and lift the heels, look forward, step, or if you're ready, jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet, rise up, reach. And then exhale, come right back down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, hands down, step back or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, shoulders away from your ears. And exhale, go back to downward facing dog. Breathing length into your waist, your spine. Think about pushing the mat away from you. Active arms. Spread your fingers out. One more breath. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, push into your feet, look up, and exhale right back down to the bottom of your breath. Halfway lift. Hands down, step back or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing dog. Pull your ribs in. You should feel some engagement in your abdomen. Squeeze your legs like you're pushing your thigh bones back. Give your right leg a lift. Bend your knee, stack your hips, and then move that right leg around the ankle, the hip, or the knee joint, or maybe all three again. Relax your neck entirely. Take a big breath in, square off your hips. Exhale, crunch, right knee to your nose. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, figure 4 bear or figure 4 down dog. I like to bend my left knee. Think about pushing the right knee back. Keep your right toes flexed. Look forward, step your right foot forward and drop your back knee. Reach both arms up, Anjaneyasana B. A few times, kind of pulse into your right heel, or maybe even shift your hips forwards and backwards a few times. Think about dragging from the right heel. Bind your hands behind your back. Next inhale, curl back, lift your chin, stretch your throat. Firm up your left glute. Release your hands and find a half split. Flex your right toes. Maybe even pull them back towards your face. If you want to challenge your core strength, you can try lifting your right leg and holding it for 3. Flex your toes, 2 and 1. Right foot down, bend your right knee. Spin your left shin behind you and walk your hands 45 degrees to the left. Drop your head. Lengthen your waist like down dog. I like to call this a modified down dog lunge. Awesome. Let's walk the hands towards the back of the mat until the left hand finds the back. Extend your right arm up and over. Probably my favorite move. If you've been practicing with me for a while, you're probably familiar with this. Push your hips towards the long edge of your mat. All right, right hand down back of your mat. Roll onto your right toes. Hug your left knee into your chest. Then press yourself back to a 3-leg down dog. Your left leg is up and you're facing the back of your mat. Bend your left knee, stack up your hips, and move your left leg around. Big inhale. Exhale, crunch, left knee to nose. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh like figure 4 bear pose or figure 4 down dog. Lengthen your waist just like down dog. Actively push into your hands. Look forward, step your left foot forward and drop your back knee. Reach both arms up. A few times, just kind of pulse into your legs. Try to grip less with the left toes. Use your heel to kind of pull you forwards and backwards. So you might even feel something in your left hamstring. Bind your hands behind your back, opposite grip, and start to lean back. Push your spine in towards your heart. Big breath in. And exhale, half splits. If you want that challenge on your core, you can lift your left leg up and float it for 3, 2, 1. Left foot on the mat. Bend your left knee and spin your right shin behind you. Walk your hands 45 degrees to the right. Your left knee is still bent, the knee going in the direction of the toes. So you should feel a nice stretch through your left hip and inner thigh. Walk your hands along the long edge of your mat until the right hand finds the front. Sweep your left arm up and over. You want to make sure you turn your left toes in. So the left foot's like a warrior 2 foot. Place your left hand down and step back, plank pose. Inhale, shift your weight forward, and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, come up, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Now bring your big toes to touch in down dog and drop down to your knees. So the thighs are touching, knees are touching, and then take a seat back on your heels. So if this is too much, you can untuck your toes. It should be uncomfortable. If it's painful, untuck your toes. Let's take those arms out wide like a T. Hug the ankle bones in. You've got it. Sweep your right arm under your left arm. You've got eagle arms. Lift your elbows up a little bit. Triceps away from your chest. Keep breathing. Nice big inhale. And exhale, release. Take your arms out wide and switch it out. Left arm going underneath. Lift your elbows up. Feel that stretch in your upper back. If you're arching your low back, try to pull your ribs down and in. You've got this. Breathe into that sensation for 3, 2, 1. Great. Release that. Hands on the mat. Untuck your toes and tap out your feet. Great. Left hand to the center. Reach your right arm up. We're going to thread the needle. Right arm going underneath. And your left hand might walk forward or half wrap. Bump your hips a little bit to the right and press the tops of your ankles down. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Left hand down. Go ahead and unwind that. Reach up. And right hand down, let's switch it out. Left arm goes up and thread it through. Right hand can walk forward or half wrap. Relax the muscles in your face. Low belly squeeze. Walk your right hand back beside your face. Push down and unwind. Reach it up. And back tabletop position. Tuck your toes and find your downward facing dog. All right, lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front. Inhale halfway, exhale fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana chair pose. Reach both arms up. Relax your shoulders. Turn your pinkies in a little bit and sit lower. All right, as you lift your heels, you're gonna drop your butt towards your heels. Maybe wrap your arms around your shins, or you could go hands to your heart center for toe stand. Your feet should feel pretty stretched out already. If you feel any pain, you can back away from the pose. Maybe close your eyes for 3, 2. Extend your arms forward, 1. Drop your butt back, Navasana. Try to parallel your shins with the mat or straighten your legs entirely. If that's too much, put your hands behind you for support. Try to avoid rounding your back. Push your low back in, broaden your collarbones, and keep breathing. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab behind your hamstrings, rock up and down your spine, maybe 3 or 4 times. We'll come back to that chair pose, rock it up, weight to your heels. You can use your hands if you need to, and forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, take your back bend, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Great, take an inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Wiggle it a little right, and we'll come up high lunge, crescent warrior. Relax your inner shoulders down. Pump up your left leg. Can you come up higher on your tippy toes? Take a big breath in. Exhale, sweep your arms back. Hover your chest. Keep your right arm reaching back. Extend your left arm forward. So you're twisting a little bit to the right, but you're still hinging forward. Now, I want you to spin it to the left. So as you come up towards star pose, that left arm is leading. The left arm comes down and underneath. So you've got eagle arms with the left arm on the bottom. Then turn your heels in, toes out for goddess pose with eagle arms. Think about pushing the knees outwards and gripping less with your toes. Sit down lower. Next inhale, rise, reach, come all the way up. Turn your toes in and fold forward. Feel free to grab your feet or ankles or just place your hands on the mat. Squeeze your legs, feel your kneecaps lift. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Walk around to the front of your mat. Spin your left toes out and find your warrior 1. Inhale. And exhale, hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. So like a more fun sun salutation. Not more fun. The original is very fun too, but a little extra sun salutation. Lift your left leg up behind you. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Come up to a high lunge, crescent warrior. Think about your outer hips being squeezed in. Inhale. Exhale, sweep your arms back and hover your chest. Keep your left arm reaching back, reach your right arm forward. So now you've got a little bit of a twist. Now as you come up to pivot to the right, keep leading with that right arm. It goes underneath the left arm. Eagle wrapped arms, goddess squat. Heels in, toes out. Squeeze your glute muscles together as you push the knees outwards. Great, unwind your arms, straighten your legs and rise. And then fold all the way forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, walk around to the front, pivot your right toes out and come up warrior 1. And exhale, hands on the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing dog. Come back to your breath here. Maybe that ujjayi breath. In and out through your nose. And we'll do it again. Lift your right leg up. Step your right foot forward. Come up high lunge, crescent warrior. Sweep your arms back. Reach your left arm forward. Come all the way up and pivot. Left arm under right, goddess squat. Come back up, inhale, star pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Walk around to the front. Adjust your feet and come up warrior one. And exhale, hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Take your flow. All right, left side, inhale. Build some heat with your breath, crescent lunge. Arms up, arms back. Right arm reach forward, pivot to the right, right arm underneath, goddess squat. Come back up, star. Toes in, fold forward. Halfway lift. Around to the front. Warrior one, inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, chaturanga. To downward facing dog. Last time, right leg, inhale. Step forward. Crescent lunge. Arms back. Left arm reach. Pivot to the left. Eagle wrap and goddess squat. Rise. Toes in, fold forward. Half lift. Around to the front. Warrior one. And Vinyasa. Left side, inhale. Step forward. Crescent lunge. Arms back. Right arm leads. Up and around. Goddess squat, eagle arms. Come back up. Toes in, fold forward. Halfway lift. To the front. Warrior one. And Vinyasa. Let's grab a downward facing dog. Regulate your breath. You should feel some heat building in your body. All right, let's go ahead and lift the right leg up again. Exhale, crunch right knee to nose. Find your figure four down dog or figure four bear again. We won't hold here too long. Keep the figure four, shift your shoulders over your wrists. Keep the figure four as you take it to a side plank on the left. Should be a bit challenging. We're gonna place that right foot down. Keep the toes pointing to the long edge of the mat. So from the figure four, it's kind of the opposite of a wild thing. Your right foot is in front. So the right leg's crossing in front of your body, like a sunrise lunge. Extend your right arm up and over towards the front of your mat so you feel a nice big stretch. Now, lower your left hip towards the floor as you reach the right arm towards that left foot. Then lift your hips up again. Extend your right arm up and over. Feel that big stretch. This time, lower your left hip all the way down. Keep that right leg crossed over, and then actually step your right foot off the mat to the right. So your right foot is parallel with your left leg inside the foot. You might even be off the mat. I'm definitely off the mat. Reach your arms up. Swing it a little to the left as you dive inside your right leg and reach for your left foot. Maybe here, you use your right tricep to block your right shin. Left arm reach around behind and you grab a bind. If you've got that, you still want to fold over your right leg. So you're not trying to turn your chest to the left. Think about dropping your left shoulder and using your right arm to push your right shin back for 3, 2, and 1. If you've got the bind, release that. Place your left hand kind of where it was in your side plank. Keep your right foot where it is, and then push up to a wild thing. Lift your hips up and back. You can look at either hand. That will be best on your neck. All right, look down at your left hand now. Slow as you can, take a big step forward with that right foot. Drop your left knee and reach both arms up to an Anjaneyasana B. Eagle wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. Now, I really want you to think about dragging through your right heel. So maybe for the real challenge, you don't even tuck your back toes. That's going to be the hardest option. Easier option will be to tuck your back toes. But when you think about dragging through your right heel, dragging your left leg all the way up behind you as you come up to stand and set it up for eagle pose, left leg up and over. So you should have felt that in your right hamstring, your right glute. Plug your left hip back a little bit, lift your elbows. Drop your elbows towards your knees, parallel your shins with the mat and look down. Squeeze your belly. Everything unwind, half moon pose. Great time for a block if you've got one. Flex your left foot and squeeze your standing leg. That's going to help protect the knee joint. Gaze down is much easier. Gaze up is harder for 3, 2, 1. Start to bend into your right knee. Take a long step back. Find a warrior 2 position. Line your right heel up with your left arch and relax your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders are over your hips, not leaning forward. Flip your right palm, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, side angle, elbow thigh, left arm extend, Utthita. Now if you've got a block, you could always go hand to mat or block. Avoid gripping with your right toes. Push the outer edge of your left foot down, nice and heavy. Lead with your left arm and sweep it around to the back, Skandasana, flying monkey. Shift the weight into your left heel. You can use your hands. Make sure your right toes are flexed and you're engaging your right leg, squeezing the thigh muscle onto the thigh bone. Stay there, or this time you're using your left tricep to block your left shin. Reach your right arm up. You could wrap the right arm behind, left arm behind, and make a bind if that feels okay. This time you are trying to turn your chest open or a little bit to the right. Flex your right toes for 3, 2, and 1. Release that. Pivot around to the back of your mat. Find your runner's lunge. Shorten up that stance, pyramid pose. Right toes angled out. Fold over your left leg. You might walk your hands forward. Feel free to grab your blocks. Square off your hips by driving your right hip forward and tugging your left hip crease back. Push the ball of your left foot down. All right, standing splits, hands forward, right leg lifting. Think about dropping your right hip a little bit. You still want to square yourself over your left leg. Step your right foot behind your left so your ankles are crossed, and then walk your hands to the left for a moment. Drop your head. Great, walk your hands back through center, uncross your feet, bend your knees, find an Utkatasana chair pose. Nice big inhale. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Hook your elbow outside your knee, push your right palm down into your left palm. Keep your elbows stacked, keep sinking your hips back, look down at your feet. Keep your right foot where it is. Start to lift your left foot off the mat and take a long step back, land on your toes. Keep your arms, right palm pushing down into left palm. And release. Drop your hands. Find a half or full splits. Flex your right toes. You can use a block or two. You still want to keep your hips square in half splits or full splits. Easy to kind of roll onto the right hip and let the hips open up to the left. But that's not really going to benefit you. So you want to stretch the back of your right leg and the front of your left leg. Think about the internal rotation of that, especially that back thigh, the left thigh. And then we'll go pigeon pose, right side. Bend your right knee. Feel free to use props. Feel free to modify in a figure 4 shape. Again, hips squaring, so try to avoid rolling to the right hip. Left hip has to drop a little bit. Stay here or thread the needle, left arm going underneath. All right, slowly start to unwind that. Walk your hands back under your shoulders. Let's step that right foot back and take a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll do that on the other side. Lift your left leg up. Crunch your left knee to your nose. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh and push your hips back. Back and up. So you want to feel a stretch outer left hip. Now I want you to keep that figure 4 as you shift your shoulders over your wrists. Keep the figure 4 as you roll to the outside of your right foot. And reach your left arm up like side plank. Then you'll step your left foot onto the mat in front, kind of where it already was. So your toes are pointing to the long edge of your mat. You're pushing your hips up like you're making a rainbow shape. So as you drop your outer right hip towards the mat, extend your left arm towards your right foot. Then push your hips up again. Extend your left arm up and over. This time, lower your right hip all the way down, and then start to turn towards the right foot. You'll actually step your left foot behind you. So your left foot is parallel with your inner right thigh. Flex your right toes, reach your arms up, dive a little to the right so you can reach for your right foot. Flex your toes. You can always wiggle your left foot out a little bit. Stay there, or use the left tricep to block the left shin. Right arm wrap around. This time, you're trying to fold over the right leg. You're not trying to turn your chest to the right. Think about dropping your right shoulder, using that left tricep to push the shin back for 3, 2, 1. Release the bind if you've got it. Place your right hand where it was for your side plank. Keep your feet as is. Lift your hips up to wild thing. Stack your right shoulder over your wrist, look at either hand. Then looking down at the mat, start to take a long step forward with that left foot, as slow as you can. Drop your back knee and reach both arms up, Anjaneyasana B. Eagle, wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. Now think about mostly using your left heel. So the most challenging part would be to not tuck your back toes. It will still be challenging if you tuck your back toes, but you're really trying to drag with your left heel. Drag your leg up all the way to standing, and then take that right leg up and over for eagle pose. I'm going to feel your right hip crease, pull back, lift your elbows up a bit. And drop your elbows towards your knees. Choose a spot on the ground, focus. All at once, but nice and slow, unwind to a half moon pose. You want to make sure your left toes aren't changing directions. Keep them pointing to the back of the mat. And keep your left knee pointing in that same direction. You can do that by really squeezing the left thigh, keeping that external rotation of the hips. Breathe here for 3. So both legs nice and strong, active. 2, 1. Start to bend your left knee, long step back, warrior 2. Line up your feet accordingly. Stack your shoulders over your hips, not leaning forward. Flip your left palm, reverse warrior. And exhale, side angle. Extend your top arm so you feel a lot of length through the right side, like you're stretching from the outer edge of your foot all the way through your pinky finger. Make sure your palm is faced down or even a little bit back. Lead with your right arm and sweep it to the front, Skandasana. Left toes flex. You should feel action through your legs. If you feel like you're just flopping into it, lift your hips up a little bit more and feel it more. Squeeze your muscles. Stay there. Use your right tricep to block your shin and go for that half wrap. This time you're not trying to kind of drop your shoulders down. You're trying to expand. Maybe turning chest a little bit to the left for 3, 2, 1, release that. Pivot around to the front of your mat. Shorten up your stance, pyramid pose. Hips are closed now. Left hip driving forward, right hip tugging back. Push the ball of your right foot down. Lengthen through the sides of your waist. Feel like your thighs are magnets towards each other. Maybe like your heels are even magnets towards each other. They're trying to be pulled together. Standing splits, left leg swing up, but keep the square. So you're trying not to open up to the left. Keep hips square, hold here for 3, 2, 1. Step your left foot behind your right foot, walk your hands to the right. Walk your hands through center, uncross your feet, bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Prayer twist off to the left and focus on the knees, staying in one line. Focus on pulling your left hip crease back, sinking nice and low. Look down at your feet, keep your left foot where it is. Take a long step back with your right foot, land on your toes. Keep pushing left palm down into right palm, keep that action. And release your hands to the mat, half splits or full splits, maybe somewhere in between. Don't be surprised if side 2 feels entirely different than side 1. Relax your jaw and the muscles in your face. Pigeon pose when you're ready. Once you're into pigeon pose, you can always just kind of wiggle your right foot back to feel the pose a little bit more intensely. You don't need to adjust the entire pose. Try to even out the hips as much as you can. I am fully aware that my outfit does not match one bit, but it's really humid here, so I'm kind of just, wearing the clothes I can and trying to keep some clean clothes for the rest of our retreat. So I don't just have no fashion sense, or I'm not colorblind. I am aware that my outfit does not match and it completely clashes actually, but hopefully you're focused a little bit more on the beautiful scenery behind me and the poses regardless. Let's go ahead and walk those hands back, or actually thread the needle, right arm underneath if you did that on the other side. Be there for a few moments. All right, when you're ready, now walk your hands back, maybe step back, chaturanga. Downward facing dog. All right, lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front of your mats. Halfway lift and forward fold. Bend into your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. And find a figure 4, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Bring your hands to heart center. Now I know we've done grasshopper flow before, so we're not going to do that today. We're going to do pretty much the prep for it, and if you're feeling spicy, I will link our grasshopper class that we've already done. But today, we're just actually going to twist and hook that right elbow outside of the left foot. Push your left palm down into your right palm. Flex your right toes. And I guess since we're here, we might as well. If you're feeling ready for it, you're going to keep this hook with the bottom of the right foot on the right tricep. Place your hands either on the mat, mine are off the mat, but the fingertips are pointing forward towards the front of your space. You're gonna shift your weight into your hands and lean a little bit to the left as you kick your left leg out. So the right foot's on top, kind of standing on your right tricep. And we'll come back through center, unwind that. Maybe step your right foot in front so your ankles are crossed again, and then walk your hands to the right, kind of like we did earlier. Grasshopper is a really challenging pose. We've pretty much done all the prep for it though. We've done figure fours, eagle pose, twisting, so might as well do it. Uncross your feet. For this one, I'll go ahead and face you so you can see the pose a little bit more. Let's go ahead and bend into the knees for Utkatasana, chair pose again. This time crossing your left ankle over your right thigh. So you're twisting to the right and you want to get a pretty deep twist here. So hooking that left tricep, you really want the foot on the tricep, not the elbow, otherwise you're going to feel really wobbly. And then come into your prayer hands. Now, as I start to go down, I have to bend my right knee so I can get my hands on the mat. What I really don't want to do is lose the connection between my foot and my tricep. That's the priority. My fingertips are pointing the same direction as my right foot. I'm going to start to lean my weight to the right as I kick my right leg out to the left. So my left foot is standing on my left tricep for 3, 2, 1. Right foot onto the mat. Walk those hands back and then kind of just slide that left foot down so the ankles are crossed again, and walk your hands over to the left. All right, you guys, walk your hands back through center, uncross your feet. Let's go ahead and come into that toe stand shape again. Drop your butt towards your heels, just as a way to come all the way down to a seat. Let's go ahead and bring the bottoms of the feet to touch. And you can kind of just close your knees and open your knees like a book a few times, kind of wiggling out the hips. I really had no intention of doing full grasshopper pose, but it almost felt rude to get us all the way there and not show it. I will still link the other grasshopper class, however, because that one's a little bit different. Let's go ahead and meet with the feet together. Scoot your feet nice and close to you. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. On your exhale, hinge forward. You can use your elbows to push your knees, your legs downwards. Lead with your sternum, not with your chin. So don't bring your chin forward to crane your neck. Actually pull your chin in a little bit towards you. Sternum forward, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lift up halfway. Cozy your knees up like a book. Plant your feet on the mat and lay all the way down onto your back. All right, sweet relief. Walk your feet closer to you. Bring your arms down by your sides. We'll do 2 back bends today, starting it off with bridge pose. I want your spine to be neutral first, so little tuck of your pelvis. Squeeze your lower abs. Lift your hips up. Think about your chest pulling towards the back of your mat a little bit. Pull your bottom ribs down. Grip a little bit less with your toes. We'll breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower your hips down. You could windshield wiper your knees side to side if that feels nice. Now for our second back bend, you feel free to take bridge pose again, or if you've got upward facing bow, hands beside your head. Lift your hips up just like you would bridge pose and then push into your hands. Maybe you start with the top of your head and stay there today, or maybe you push all the way up. Again, try to point those toes forward or even a little bit in. That's going to help you feel the inner thighs. You again want that internal hip rotation here, so not externally rotating the hips. We don't want the knees falling outwards. Firm up your glutes. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Nice slow lower all the way down with control. Hug your knees into your chest. And then take your right leg over your left leg. Think like eagle or Gomukhasana legs. So actually not eagle, because I just want you to wrap once. Take your left hand and grab for your right ankle. Right hand, grab for your left ankle. So very much like Gomukhasana, cow face pose on your back. Pull your feet away from each other and then try to pull your tailbone down. You should feel a nice stretch in your outer hips. Release the grip with your hands. You could keep your legs like that or double cross, more like eagle pose. Take your knees off to the left and look to the right. Awesome. Bring your legs back through center, unwind them, and switch. Left leg over the right leg. Left hand reach for right ankle, right hand reach for left ankle. Very much like Gomukhasana legs. Try to keep your entire spine on the mat. So from the tailbone all the way up to the back of the neck. Pull your feet away from each other. Breathe here for 3. Breathe into your outer hips. 2. 1, release that grip. You could wrap your legs again if you'd like and take it over to the right. Look off to the left. All right, bring that back through center. Unwind your legs. Let's take a happy baby pose. Grab your feet or ankles. Pull down, pull your tailbone down. Maybe rock a little bit side to side. Massage your low back. Release the grip on your feet. Anything else you want to do to close out your practice? You could go seated forward fold. You could go shoulder stand, fish pose. Anything else you like to do, but when you're ready, you'll make your way into a comfortable resting position. So if you want to pause the video, do anything else you've got in your tank, and then we'll meet back, making our way into a comfortable position on our backs. Allow your toes to flap out. Maybe even scoop your tailbone away from you, wiggle your shoulder blades underneath you, feel your heart space expand. Unclench your jaw, relax the muscles in your face, soften your palms and your forearms. Then scan your body for any residual tension or effort, and where can you let go of that? So breathe in deeply. Open your mouth and sigh. A little bit more ease, a little bit more peace. A few moments here, relax and enjoy Shavasana. Start to bring yourself back. Maybe wiggle your fingers. You kind of rub your thumb over your fingers. Take your head side to side. Feel your breath. Notice your body in space and take a nice big stretch. Reach your arms overhead. Hug your knees in and then roll to your right or left side. Find a fetal position. Allow your body to feel soft and still, more calm. Gradually bring yourself up to a comfortable seat, taking some of that calm and peace with you. Relax your shoulders, sit up tall, proud. You almost want to feel like the calm is so powerful, so overpowering that no matter what kind of gets thrown at you the rest of the day, you're able to maintain this peace internally. And even if sometimes it gets shaken a little bit or rattled around, you can always kind of come back to this homeostasis. That's the practice, we find this peace and calm, come back to it. Hopefully we keep it with us for a while off the mat. And gradually life happens, things happen. But over time, the more you practice, the easier, the more resilient you are to those changes and those things that try to rattle you. So you're better able to keep your calm, peace, and stillness. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Take a nice big breath in and let it go. Thank you so much for choosing to practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you, YouTube yogis. I so appreciate you practicing with me. I know there's a bunch of options out there for yoga and a bunch of other free options as well. So thank you for choosing my channel. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share it on your social media with your friends, your family. That's the best way to support me, and I definitely appreciate all the love. Again, if you are interested in coming to Costa Rica with me and my co-lead Bex next July, we'll be back here in beautiful Playa Grande. So go ahead and reach out to me via my email. That's emma@emmapigeonyoga.com, but I'll also put it below. Hopefully, I will see you on your mat next week.